Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Your Mark on the World show. We're producing this episode for GoodCrowd.info. I'm your host, Devin Thorpe, and we have a remarkable celebrity guest today. We have with us Manolis Sfinarolakis, who is the founder and host of Reality Crowd TV. Manolis, welcome to the show.
Devin, thank you so much for having me, and calling me a celebrity is just way too kind of you.
No. Now, Manolis, you have created Reality Crowd TV over the last year. You sort of taking it from nothing to really something. Everyone in the crowdfunding world knows who you are. They're following what you do. They love you. Your passion and enthusiasm for crowdfunding is incredible. So we're really honored to have you take some time to be with us today.
You know what, and I feel very similarly to you, Devin. I mean, you are a champion of social good, and that crowdfunding is all about. That's what makes it great, is that entrepreneurs get that opportunity to do positive change in the world, and you are equally, you're more of an icon in this industry than I've seen. So again, I'm humbled to be here.
Well, thank you, Manolis. We're glad to have you here. Now, your show is wonderful. Tell us, take 2 minutes and tell us about the show. Give us an idea of some of the things you're doing, some of the people you've had on.
Sure. So we began back in October 2013, and since we started, we had about 70 episodes of our show. And really, the mission of the show is to inform, educate, inspire, and motivate entrepreneurs worldwide to start small businesses through crowdfunding and to provide them a blueprint on how to crowdfund. So we've had guests from the industry, whether they're crowdfunding portals, both rewards and the equity side of the equation. We've had startups and entrepreneurs tell us their stories on, how their campaigns were going, how did they actually achieve success, and what struggles are they having. We also had office hours where we made ourselves available to 10 entrepreneurs on a show at a time, and they just rapid-fired questions about crowdfunding. And we even had a virtual pitch competition whereby the winner at the end of the month actually won a free crowdfunding campaign on one of our sponsors' sites. So over the last year, we've had a lot of market research on exactly what crowdfunding is, the steps needed to take it, and it's not that we knew this ourselves. We had experts such as yourself come on our show and really share the knowledge of how all this process works.
That's great, and it's been hugely successful, huge impact in the industry. Manolis, tell us a little bit about how you go about promoting your shows, because you've done a really good job in building an audience.
Yes, so one of the largest networks that I promote on, and I hope some viewers are watching today, is the Google Plus network itself. For the viewers who may not know, Google Plus actually is connected to YouTube because Google owns YouTube and Google Plus. And so through the connections I've made on Google Plus, I'm able to invite everybody directly to the show. So that there's also the other areas of social media such as Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, where I constantly promote on those channels. But what's really gotten an engaged following is having calls with entrepreneurs on a day-to-day basis. It's going to live events, it's telling them what we do, and then keeping in touch with them. And so that's really how we were able to build our audience and promote it.
Oh, that's great. Now, you've recently launched an online effort that is really intriguing. Tell us a little bit about this incubator you've created, this online virtual incubator.
Yes, so it's definitely a brand new pivot in our business model. Initially we started with only a show. We went on a nationwide tour to 9 states, and we were talking to different we were talking to different incubators and accelerators in their traditional sense. And we noticed that through that nationwide tour, there were a lot of entrepreneurs asking questions, and a lot of the incubators and accelerators, the people who were teaching the entrepreneurs about crowdfunding, also needed some more information. So through that process of that tour, then taking on certain clients who we were consulting and doing digital media services on, we noticed that there was a need in the industry to give some sort of baseline understanding of crowdfunding before an entrepreneur ever really needs to spend any money on it. So we really thought to ourselves, entrepreneurs shouldn't be purchasing services immediately if they don't know anything about crowdfunding. They have to at least learn from a trusted source first so that they have the best knowledge in order to make an informed decision. So because of that, and because a lot of people could not afford consulting services across the industry, we said to ourselves, let's find a way to really live our mission, which is really to help everybody, not just those who can afford the help. So the idea of the Incubator is an online resource for anyone, free membership, where mentors and crowdsourced content providers come together and really educate entrepreneurs so that they can, number one, understand the process, number two, with themselves if they have the resources to do so, and number three, if they don't have the resources to do so, at least be smart enough when you're going to hire somebody else so that you don't get ripped off in the process.
Well, it would be, I mean, it's very cool what you're doing. And, I mean, it's remarkable. You've made this free, you've made it accessible, and people are creating this great dialogue around crowdfunding and building resources there. So what's the URL and what do you call this?
Sure. So we're calling it a virtual incubator and crowdfunding syndicate. So the virtual incubator piece is for any startup, any entrepreneur, any project creator. They don't necessarily need to be going down the crowdfunding path, but most early stage startups, which we are going to be targeting, the early entrepreneurs, most likely they're going to look at crowdfunding as a potential option for them. But we also are very heavily involved in social media and PR education. So if you're not crowdfunding, that would be valuable for any startup to know if they don't understand it already. And the URL currently, actually, I'm going to give you the future URL because we're about to release the beta. It's incubator.realitycrowdtv.com. If you type that address in right now, it should go to the current alpha version, but within a day or two we're releasing the beta version. So that's incubator.realitycrowdtv.com, and you could also email me for more information at info@realitycrowdtv.com.
Oh, it's a very cool site. I've already joined. You've got a great group of people there already engaging and having a dialogue there, so it's a lot of fun. I think it has huge potential to really influence the industry. Manolis, I want to understand, though, from you why you're so passionate about crowdfunding.
You know what? I've been working in the corporate world prior to starting Reality Crowd TV. I graduated from UConn with a business degree in accounting. I started out at Deloitte & Touche, one of the largest auditing and accounting firms in the world. And I was grateful for that. I was really grateful for those experiences, and not many people have that opportunity to get a good education and a good job right out of college, especially in times like these. But what I noticed just through working, and I'm considered one of the millennials. I'm 31 years old. I think I was one of the first millennials, almost like the last of the Mohicans. But I was one of the first of the millennial generation, and you know, as I was working, I always had the itch to do something on my own. I always had the itch to start a company. And the more I talked with people my age and people in my generation, I was involved with nonprofits, and I was leading the youth group from ages 14 to 27. When I was at the Hartford, I was personal and professional development lead of the young professionals at the Hartford. So as I was talking, they all had so much energy, so much to contribute, but they clashed against the old establishments that are currently in place, all the old hierarchies of corporations. And although I love corporations, I think business is good no matter what type of business it is, the millennial generation needs to be able to express itself. We have that entrepreneurial flair. It's the me generation, and we all are very savvy in technology. And so we have a leg up as far as being entrepreneurial. So when I heard about crowdfunding, I thought to myself, this is the missing link that answers the question, I have a great idea, I have a passion, but I have no money. Crowdfunding, if you are able to have a great idea, have passion, put some initial legwork in to present yourself in a way and have a game plan for your company, you can go to the crowd and start a completely revolutionary business that goes against every convention that was previously established. And so it allows entrepreneurs to spread their wings. It allows for new innovations to occur that would otherwise not occur because the establishment may not want to put that in as their own business model. So I'm passionate about crowdfunding because I believe it's the missing element to change the world regardless of the existing establishments. And that's why I love crowdfunding.
Well, that's a great take. I really appreciate that. Now, Manolis, you're having real success, and you really are changing the world. I wonder, what advice would you give people who are in that same mode? They're trying, like I'm trying to change the world. What advice, what counsel would you give to people to increase their impact?
So I will tell you the honest truth. If this opportunity of crowdfunding came into my life 5 years ago, I would not have been ready for it. So really what I would have to say is that everyone needs to look within themselves and truly be honest and say, what do I really want for myself? And it's going to take a while to determine that. It's going to be painful because you might have to change the company that you're around. You might have to do some internal soul searching and almost reprogram yourself to think more positively if you're a negative thinker. So the one thing I would say is, if someone has an urge to change the world, first change yourself. Because if you can change yourself in the way you think and you operate, and you can convince yourself that you're worth achieving the dreams that you want, you're able, and you truly can achieve the change you want in the world, once you convince yourself, you can convince anyone else to join your cause. And that's the best advice I can give anybody.
That's great counsel. Now, before we wrap up, Manolis, tell us how people can engage with you. I know there will be, every time you do a show, I'm sure you get the same thing, but people want to be on your show, they want to watch it, they want to engage with you. Tell people how to watch the show, how to engage with you, how to apply to be on the show. Give them the whole spiel.
Excellent. Well, now another reason why we're starting the Incubator is because there is an overwhelming demand for people to be on our show, but right now it's just one person, myself and my CEO, two people, myself and my CEO, Jessica Sun. And so the Incubator, the way that we engage going forward when we release the beta is people who want to be on our show, they only have to do one thing: register for the Incubator. Once you're registered for the Incubator, we're going to have new show formats moving forward that are going to encompass 3 different YouTube accounts. Our main YouTube account will be for our long interviews, which are going to be more huge events, which will be broadcasted far and wide. It could be virtual pitch competitions. It could be bringing in a big-time guest speaker to speak. So the main channel is going to be reserved for thought leadership. Another channel called Crowdfund Resources is going to be for 15-minute expert interviews of the industry, people who are going to be mentors within this Incubator program. And so that content is going to be really valuable, free resources for anyone who's a member. And then the final account, which will be the virtual Incubator account, is going to be the member profile account. And it's going to be the internal community build mechanism, so that anyone who joins our Incubator can have a piece of video of themselves to be on our program, to actually be within our ecosystem, and they can use that video to interact with other members. They could post the video to their profile, and suddenly they have a member profile for anyone to see who might want to say, you know, I really love that program, and I really would like to engage with you. But of course, I'm just one person, so I will be implementing a special role within the Incubator known as a moderator, who will have the added benefits of being able to interview other members. So we'll have a group of people who get special privileges, who want to have a higher role, and they'll be the ones who can go and interview other people, so that the community builds and multiple people get a chance to be on the show.
Oh, that's great. Genius model. So that's terrific. And where do people go to learn more about the show then? Is it realitycrowdtv.com? Is that the main website for the show?
It is, and it still is a valid website, but we are going to be changing a lot about it to reflect this new direction for the virtual Incubator. But right now, of course, you can go to realitycrowdtv.com, and if you want more specific information, you can just go to the contact page and submit a contact form, and our phone number and our email address is published for anyone to see directly on the site.
Terrific. Well, Manolis, thank you very much for being on the show today. We wish you every success in your efforts.
Thank you so much, Devin, to you as well.
Thank you. Now, let's do some good.